What's up? I'm Ross. I talk about personal finance and economic news from a man's perspective. Today, I want to talk a little about PnB Rock. He was a rapper out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. This is PnB Rock. Unfortunately, PnB Rock was at a Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles in Los Angeles, California this past September, where he was shot and killed allegedly for his jewelry. The prosecutors are alleging that a 17-year-old walked into the Roscoe's, tried to take PnB Rock's jewelry. They don't say whether it was a struggle, but he shot him once in the chest and then shot him twice in the back while they lay on the floor, and then took off his rings, watch, necklace, etc. And get this, the father was a getaway driver, and also the stepmother was arrested. So a family with three was arrested behind the murder of PnB Rock. But what I want to talk about is the vulnerable position that his children are now left in because he did not have life insurance. This is him and his two daughters. He has the one daughter at the top. She's 10 now, and he had her from a previous relationship when he was 21. And the youngest two at the bottom with him and the young lady that's now speaking.
No, he did not have life insurance. No, he did not have a will. No, we didn't have nothing set up. We're so young. We don't plan on death. Like, so I don't get no death benefits. I don't get nothing. Like, I don't get nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You heard her there speak on him not having life insurance. Her name is Stephanie. You heard Steph say that he didn't have life insurance, so she's not receiving any death benefits. He did not have a will either. So unfortunately, this leaves his children in a very vulnerable position. And the sad part is, if you look at the man's jewelry, he has plenty of money to pay for life insurance. He could have had a buttload of life insurance, and I'm talking term life insurance. It's very cheap, very affordable, but unfortunately, they didn't plan for that. And she talks about them being young, but they're 30. He's got two kids and she's got one, so 30's not that young, especially when you have a child who's even younger and is looking at you for basically everything. So unfortunately for him, his children are now vulnerable. I ran some numbers just for fun of it to see what a $10 million life insurance, term life insurance would cost for a 30-year-old healthy male for a 20-year term. That means you get the coverage for over 20 years. As long as you pay the premiums, you will be covered. So you could have this coverage from 30 to 50 in his case. And that would cover his oldest until she was 30, and the youngest though would be 22. So that's even if she were to go to college, she should be almost finished with college. So 20-year term is about appropriate for him, maybe 25. But look at the prices: $360 monthly or $4,239 a year. That is the cheapest one that came out. And if you multiply that $4,239 by 20, which is the term, and he wanted to pay it, let's say he wanted to pay it all up front, it was $84,780, about $85,000. So that sounds like a lot to normal people like me and you, but if you look at this guy's jewelry, look at this. Are you telling me right now he doesn't have probably $400,000 in chains on his neck? He's got, look at the big PnB chain right here. I bet that alone is probably worth $200,000-$300,000. So my point is, he had the money. I bet that bracelet alone right there on his wrist is worth $85,000. Surely all of that jewelry combined is worth multiples of $85,000. And I only point this out to say he had the money to get life insurance. He just didn't do it. And now his kids are in a vulnerable position. And this is not just for rich people. If there's anybody that's dependent upon you for your salary, that means whether they live in the home with you or you pay child support, you need to get life insurance, because if you die, that income goes away and you're going to leave your children vulnerable if they don't have the proper financial support to get them to adulthood. Anybody, doesn't matter how much you make, if anybody is dependent upon you for your income, you need life insurance. I just pulled $1 million for a 20-year term for a 30-year-old healthy male. And by the way, the younger you get, the cheaper it gets, the older you get, the more expensive it gets, right? So It's $41 a month. $41 a month for you to get $1 million worth of life insurance to protect your family. And $1 million is probably, if you're making anything less than maybe $100,000, $1 million may be appropriate for you to get. At $41, that's one DoorDash meal pretty much. It's not that expensive. It's just people don't take the time to plan for it, and they have different priorities. Clearly, PnB Rock's priority was jewelry and expensive cars and a lavish lifestyle. And listen, I don't want to talk bad about the dead. I don't. I just want to point out that you need life insurance. If somebody is dependent upon you for your income, you need to get life insurance. Now, let's just say you're not married, or you don't trust the mother of your children with the money. Well, then you're going to have to take a little step further and get an estate planner and set up some type of trust fund, so that in the event that something happens to you, that insurance would pay out to the trust fund, and that trust fund would then distribute the funds as the rules set forth by whom? You, right? So let's say you die, and then you get $1 million and it goes into a trust fund, and then you pay the the guardian of your child, $1,200 a month until the money is gone, or until they're 25, and then at 25 the rest of the money disperses to them, or whatever the case is. You get to make the rules, is my point. So not getting along with your wife or your baby mama, that's no excuse for you not to have life insurance. It's no excuse for you to leave your children vulnerable. So get life insurance. Once again, my name is Ross. I talk about personal finance and economic news from a man's perspective. If you made it this far, consider giving me a like or even a subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, but it would help me out immensely. Peace.